Can, sin, mal, call.
Yo. What is up, YouTube? Welcome to my first YouTube video. Don't know how I feel. Pretty excited. So today we are going to be watching how FIFA corrupted the World Cup. Yeah, so everyone's, if you've been watching the World Cup, you're up to date. By the time you're probably watching this, the World Cup's over, but you should know about the, what do you call it, the things that are going on with FIFA, with their decisions and all that. Yeah, before we get into it, make sure you get nice, warm and cozy, because this video is gonna be crazy. I got my water here, so we can be together, included in as a group. Let's get into it.
Here is the balance.
Before we get into this video, games I thought that FIFA have rigged. I'm not being biased here by any chance because I am Australian. Australia versus the US. What else do we have? Egypt versus Argentina was big. That's all I can get to off the top of my head. Let's hope you enjoy the video.
Ultimate game. Use of the hands that England can win. It's all over.
Christmas Day 1914. The middle of World War I.
British and German soldiers have been killing each other for months. They're living in trenches full of mud and rats and dead bodies.
And then, on Christmas morning, something happens that their generals never ordered and their governments never approved. A German soldier starts singing Silent Night. Then a British soldier joins in. And then, one by one, men from both sides climb out of their trenches, walk into no man's land, and start playing football. No referees, no teams, just a ball and two groups of people who, for a few hours, decided that this game mattered more than the war they were fighting. That's what football does. It's the most universal language on earth. More people watch the World Cup than any other event in human history. 5 billion viewers. But here's the thing, the organization that
5 billion, and we're living in an 8 billion world. Far out.
controls this game, that decides where the World Cup is played, who gets to host it, and where the money goes, is one of the most powerful and least accountable institutions on Earth. It has more members than the United Nations. It makes billions of dollars. It pays virtually no taxes and has never been, not once, held accountable by any government, any courts, or any of the billions of fans that love the sport. This is the story of FIFA, and to understand it, I think we need a new term. We talk about big tobacco, big pharma, big oil, but we never talk about big football.
True.
What is exactly that FIFA does?
The aim of FIFA is not only to develop this game and to organize competition, but to make a better world.
So let's start with the basic question. What actually is FIFA? Officially, FIFA is a non-profit. It's registered in Zurich, Switzerland under something called a verein,
Non-profit.
which is the same legal category as a local hiking club. That's not a joke. Under Swiss law, FIFA has the same legal status as your neighborhood book group. Except this book group made $7.5 billion last cycle. It sits on nearly $4 billion in cash reserves, and its president, Gianni Infantino, earns roughly $6 million a year. This is all tax-free within FIFA because it is a non-profit. Now, here's where it gets interesting. FIFA has 211 member countries. The United Nations has 193. So FIFA is literally bigger than the UN. And every single one of those 211 gets a vote. Montserrat, a population of 4,000, has the same voting power as Brazil. You might think, okay, this sounds democratic. One country, one vote. But here's the catch. About 70% of those 211 member associations run on annual budgets under $2 million. And for many of them, up to half of that money comes directly from FIFA. FIFA runs something called the Forward Program.
The FIFA Forward Program is a flagship program of FIFA. It is the sustainable development of football throughout our 211 member association,
which distributes $2.25 billion per cycle, up to $8 million per member over 4 years. This is a 7-fold increase from what it was before Infantino took over. Think about what that means. The people who are supposed to hold FIFA's president accountable are financially dependent on FIFA's president. The more money he gives them, the less likely they are to vote him out. That's not democracy, that's a patronage system. And it works. Infantino was re-elected unopposed in 2023. No challenger, not one.
Give a round of applause to elect Gianni Infantino as the FIFA president.
Gianni Infantino has been re-elected FIFA president for 4 more years.
That seems off to me.
Gay.
He's expected to run again in 2027, which would keep him in power until 2031. 15 years in charge of the most powerful organization in sport, and nobody is running against him.
I'm proud of the work of my team.
So that's the first thing you need to understand about FIFA. It's not a sports body that accidentally became powerful. It's a system designed to keep power exactly where it is. Hey guys, this video is sponsored by not FIFA, I'm just kidding. It's not sponsored by FIFA. It's not sponsored by anyone. What I ask you to do is, if you're loving this content, hit that subscribe button. Because if you hit subscribe, we can share more original content just like this. Okay, back to the video.
Now you look over there to Giorgio, you can have a chat, because I'm going to shuffle this a little bit.
Every 4 years, FIFA runs a...
There has been some things about conspiracy theories about the lotteries and that in the NBA too. So, yeah. Sorry for the stoppages.
Biggest sporting event on the planet. The country that hosts it has to sign what must be the most one-sided contract in the world. I've read these bid documents. Here's what FIFA demands. Full tax exemption for FIFA and all its subsidiaries, not just during the tournament, but for an entire decade. Unrestricted import and export of any foreign currency. Automatic work permits for anyone FIFA designates. Special intellectual property enforcement. And this is the one that got me. All legal disputes must be settled under Swiss law in Zurich, even if the final of this year's tournament is in New York.
The World Cup's coming to New York next year. I couldn't be more excited.
But what if a country's own laws get in the way? FIFA expects you to change them. Brazil, probably one of the best teams in the world apart from England, is a great example. When Brazil hosted in 2014, FIFA told the government that Budweiser needed to sell beers inside stadiums. Problem? Brazil had a law banning alcohol at sporting events. It existed because of fan violence. People had died.
Isolated acts of violence marred. The Volkswagen Beetle engulfed in flames provided another powerful image.
Authorities in Rio are facing serious security challenges as violence returns to some of the city's favelas.
They were fucking... They... Imagine being in that car. Just being in that car.
Budweiser was a FIFA sponsor paying hundreds of millions of dollars. So Brazil's Congress passed what's known as the Budweiser law, overriding their own public safety legislation because a Swiss non-profit told them to.
The fact that we have the right to sell beer.
How you say, f*** your laws and your public safety. Is that right?
Other examples include South Africa, that created a tax-free bubble around FIFA venues. Qatar, the last World Cup, gave blanket exemptions for FIFA, all clubs, all broadcasters, all service providers.
Today I feel Qatari.
And here's the key thing. The host country builds the stadium. The host country pays for the security.
I'm feeling Qatari.
The transport, the infrastructure. FIFA shows up, runs the tournament, collects all the broadcast revenue, all the sponsorship money, all the ticket sales, and then leaves. That is the deal. And it's a deal every single host country has agreed to, because the alternative is you don't get the World Cup. And nobody wants to be in a country that said no to the World Cup. True. This is what I mean by big football. We use that phrase, big pharma, big oil, big tobacco, to describe industries that have so much market power that governments can't regulate them. FIFA fits that pattern exactly. It controls access to the most popular cultural product on earth. There is no alternative to the World Cup. There's no competitor. If you want your country's team to play in the biggest tournament in the world, you go through FIFA, and FIFA sets the terms. Political scientists have a name for what happens when the regulator and the regulated are the same entity.
I always get like so surprised at like you see those videos about like the works inside the machinery, bro. It just blows my mind how crazy this stuff is.
They call it regulatory capture. But FIFA is something even stranger. FIFA isn't captured by an industry. FIFA is the industry. It writes the rules, enforces the rules, and sells the product all at once, all from...
It's like your state government and that too.
Zurich, all tax-free.
Running low on water. I shall be back, ladies and gentlemen. Refilled. Went to the pits.
His chapter in soccer's corruption scandal takes us back to the beginning. Today, federal prosecutors in New York.
For decades, everyone suspected FIFA was doing something dodgy, but nobody could prove it until the FBI got involved. And this story starts with one of the strangest informants in the history of law enforcement. His name was Chuck Blazer. He was an American soccer official. Soccer meaning Americans call football soccer, and they call football. It's all confusing. It's called football. Chuck Blazer was a large bearded man. He had 2 apartments. One for himself, one for his cats. The cat apartment cost $6,000 a month. He was making millions of dollars from FIFA, and he hadn't paid income taxes in over a decade. In 2011, 2 federal agents, 1 FBI and 1 IRS, stopped Blazer on a Manhattan sidewalk while he was riding his mobility scooter. They told him, "Cooperate or we will arrest you right here, right now." He cooperated. At the 2012 London Olympics, the FBI gave Blazer a keychain with a hidden microphone inside. He invited FIFA colleagues back to his hotel room and recorded their conversation. He was also physically wired. Agents came to his apartment in Trump Tower and taped a recording device to his body while he stood there in an adult diaper. What Blazer helped uncover was a system of bribes and kickbacks that had been running for over 2 decades.
Swiss police have arrested 6 high-ranking officials of football's world governing body on suspicion of corruption.
The US Department of Justice filed a 164-page indictment alleging more than $150 million in bribes.
This really is the World Cup of fraud.
By the end, 45 people were charged. Over $200 million in bribes were documented, and here is the part that tells you everything you need to know about FIFA and how it works. FIFA itself asked the US government for victim status. The organization whose officials took the bribes wanted to be classified as the victim. Sepp Blatter, and you remember this clip, had run FIFA for 17 years and then he resigned. Gianni Infantino was elected to replace him on a promise to reform everything. He said he would clean the house.
We will restore the image of FIFA and the respect of FIFA, and everyone in the world will applaud us.
Instead, he consolidated power. He engineered a rule that let the FIFA Council fire members of the Independent Audit Committee, the committee that was supposed to watch him. The chairman of that committee, Scala, resigned in protest, saying that the move undermines a central pillar of good governance. Both ethic committee chairs were removed. The Independent Human Rights Advisory Board was dissolved. Every single guardrail that was put into place after the scandal had been taken down. The biggest corruption case in sports history led to reforms. And then the reforms were quietly destroyed.
What FIFA does with all the revenues from this World Cup and every other World Cup as well is reinvesting in the game in projects like the Afghanistan Burns.
So who really pays? FIFA makes billions. Host countries sign away their sovereignty. Corrupt officials get caught and the reforms get rolled back. But who actually pays the price? Let's go to Qatar.
Pretty good World Cup, I suppose.
In 2021, The Guardian published an investigation that changed everything. Reporter Pete Patterson compiled government data from 5 countries, India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Pakistan, and found that 6,500 migrant workers from those nations had died in Qatar since the country won the World Cup bid. That's an average of 12 deaths per week. Most of those workers were building the stadiums, the roads, the hotels, the metro lines that make the World Cup possible. They worked under something called a kafala system, a sponsorship arrangement where your employer controls your visa, your housing, and in many cases, your passport.
The kafala system can be a form of modern-day slavery, and the features of it amount in some cases to forced labor.
Workers paid $1,000 to $3,000 in recruitment fees just to get the job, trapping them in debt before they even arrived. Some went months without pay. Others couldn't leave the country because their employer held their documents. Qatar's government said that only 3 workers died during stadium construction. Later, a senior official acknowledged that the number was between 400 to 500. Charities asked FIFA to create a $440 million compensation fund, matching the prize money for the tournament. FIFA said no. Instead, it launched a $50 million legacy fund with the WHO and UNHCR. No worker compensation was included. Now, let's go to Brazil. Brazil spent over $11 billion hosting the 2014 World Cup. A congressman and a former national football star named Romario called it the biggest theft in the history of Brazil. Rio's mayor estimated that the corruption at the World Cup venues accounted for 30 to 40% of construction costs. 2 million Brazilians took to the street chanting FIFA go home. We don't need the World Cup. We need money for hospitals and education. And then the stadiums became white elephants. The stadium in Brasilia cost $900 million, most expensive football venue ever built, for a city with no first division team. It was used as a bus parking lot. Arena Amazonia, another stadium, cost $300 million in the middle of the Amazon. Average attendance at local matches, under 1,000. Monthly maintenance, $200,000 to $300,000. Arena Pantanal saw homeless people move into the unused locker rooms. In every case, the pattern is the same. The country builds, FIFA profits, and the bill goes to the people who never asked for any of it.
The White House. Can I keep it? Or you... Well, you can put it.
World Cup this year will be the biggest in history. 48 teams, 140 matches, 3 countries. Projected revenue of $11 to $13 billion, the most profitable tournament FIFA has ever run. Tickets for the final at Live Stadium are going up for $10,990. Fans from 39 countries can't get visas to attend because of US travel restrictions. FIFA's president has met with Donald Trump more times this year than any world leader and awarded him the FIFA Peace Prize. Look, I love football. I love the beautiful game. I'm a big Arsenal fan, which is a love-hate relationship. And I think most of you watching this also love football. That's not the issue. The issue is that an institution with more members than the United Nations, more money than most governments, and less accountability than almost any organization on earth has total control over the sport that belongs to us all. We all know what big pharma is. We all know what big oil is. We understand that when an industry gets powerful enough, it stops being regulated and starts doing the regulating. Maybe it's time we understood that the same thing has happened to football. Big football.
Wow. What a video. That was pretty good. If you like that video, if you can, please chuck me a follow, because I'd really appreciate it. And have a blessed day. May God be with you. Bye.
But my bitch, yeah, she do it the best. Yes.